To celebrate Scotland's first World Cup since 1998, the Scotsmen are counting down the nation's 25 greatest ever goals, ranked by our journalists alongside special guest Pat Nevin. And then we're pulling on the boots to try and recreate the top 5 ourselves.
Mark Atkinson, head of sport and Scotland's number 1.
Martin Simpson, rugby writer, outside centre, wrong shaped ball.
Cal McCormack, reporter, Edinburgh News, no good enough to wear boots this bright.
Matthew Elder, deputy sports editor, 6 out of 10 writer, 5 out of 10 footballer.
Where's my mum? Where's my mum?
Graham Bean, Scotsman veteran, 30 years.
Graham, English, contact penalties.
No Scotland, no party. No Scotland, no party.
Alan Pattillo, football writer for the Scotsman. Duncan Ferguson, striker.
Larry Anderson, football writer and proud Ouija.
John Greakin, correspondent in charge of general tomfoolery and shenanigans.
Lewis Anderson, football writer, modern day Philip Lamb.
Pat Nevin, former Scotland international, now working for the Scotsman. It's coming to this.
Hello and welcome to this very special Scotsman football show. I'm joined today by our chief football writer Alan Pattillo and the Scotsman's columnist for the 2026 World Cup, Pat Nevin. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me here at McLaren's on the Corner. We were here 2 years ago when Scotland qualified for the European Championships to discuss Scotland's greatest team. And of course Scotland decided to qualify for another major tournament. I'm not complaining, but it did mean that we had to think of a new, I suppose, way of talking about Scotland's greatest things. We've done the players, why not do the goals? So I'm joined by a man that actually has scored a goal we're going to talk about, but there's loads of goals you could go through. In fact, to be honest, I think whittling them down to 25 is an almost impossible task. And actually, the beauty of this is that there are so many goals from so many generations that so many people will have a different top 5, top 10, top 25. So there's tons to talk about. I can't wait. I think the best place to start is to probably look at the goals from 25 to 21, which I actually think is the one that's caused you gentlemen the most consternation. So I've talked enough as it is. I'm going to let you guys take the floor and discuss what will sit in spots 25 to 21.
Yeah, it does feel the most high pressurised grouping of goals, because if they're not here in this next 5 goals, they're not in the top 25. You've excluded them completely, and there'll be some crackers that people watching will be going, I can't believe that's not going to be in the top 25. I did a quick bit of calculation last night. I think Scotland have scored to date 1,443 goals.
Have you watched every single one?
No, we haven't. And we have to probably underline that slightly arbitrary time frame, possibly.
Indeed.
1973-ish onwards, I think. Why is that? I don't know.
World Cups.
My time, my lifetime, basically.
Well, we could have done your lifetime. We could have gone with the fact that it's a nice, easy cut-off, or the fact that footage actually of a lot of the goals beyond that is hard to find, isn't it?
Yeah. But obviously, there's some, great goals, great iconic goals from before that, which won't be getting in. So. Don't write in and complain. That's the reason.
Of course you're going to write in and complain. That's the whole point of it. By the way, 73 was getting into the World Cup for 74.
Yeah.
And we're kind of thinking about World Cups. So that kind of makes sense as well, because we weren't in World Cups for a long time before that. So that absolutely makes sense as well. But underline, and this is possibly the most important thing we'll say today, is it the best goal? Is it the most important goal? Is it the one that we aesthetically think's great? Have we got our own personal reasons? Me being an ex-indie kid, I want to find a weird one somewhere that nobody remembers. I want to find that one as well.
You've got one.
I've got a couple. I've got a couple.
Yeah.
So there's lots of reasons why we need to kind of filter that down to the reason why we go for one goal over another.
Yeah. You've got your I don't know what was it, Well, we'll come to it. We'll come to it. You're kind of your left field one.
Oh, very much.
It's an interesting one, which I certainly didn't come across my thoughts when I was going through them all. But I've grown to like it actually. So we'll discuss it when we come into the top 20. But yeah, let's just start off with a few goals. I thought the way to start would be a more general discussion about what might get in to 25 to 21 placings, and we've got about 10 or so goals to discuss very quickly and just go through them. But this one, Derek Johnson v Wales, 1978, Pat, which I was made aware of by our colleague Graham Bean, rugby writer, and it is an absolute cracker. A header. It's always good to see a good old-fashioned powerful header, and this was a powerful header. It's fair to say.
I think you can't use this discussion at all about this goal without saying bullet header.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is a bullet. It's a crossing from the outside of the boot.
Archie Gemmell, exactly. What a great assist.
And it's about 16, 18 yards out. But the power that Big DJ gets in this header, I mean, it lashes into the net. It's against Wales, 78. And I have to say, I'll hand up right now, I had no memory of it.
Yeah.
So traipsing through and trawling through all of these goals, it took us a long time, and it was great fun. But the one or two, that was Graham Bean. We've got to say well done, Graham, for spotting that one, because I hadn't seen it. That's definitely a shout.
Do you think headers just don't live in the memory as well as others?
Some do. Some do. You need to score. With a header, it needs to be very special, as in it's got to be a good header. It's got to be clean. But on top of that, it's got to be an important game. And there are some great iconic, and there's people listening here thinking, what about? We'll come to that. So there are a few that actually get in here.
Good. There is. I think personally speaking, I think headers can be very pleasing on the eye.
I like them as well, but I wonder in the modern game, do we see as many good-headed goals as potentially did in the past?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, given the time frame, one of my favourite goals, Alan Gozine, winner for Scotland v England, won't be making it in 64, I think.
Can I underline headers? We actually were very good at it as a nation. We were very good at headers for a long time. And the one that really got me, and none of his headers are going to get in here, Coisty was phenomenal. And he always happened to be, we flicked behind him a lot of the time. He was absolutely brilliant at them, and he scored more than you think. And I can remember one back post there, it was a good one as well. So we've actually been very, very good at sort of using aerial.
Did you ever score? I mean, how many headers have you scored?
In my career, lots. The reason being, it's not that I was great in the air, because you're wee. Nobody bothers to mark you. They're all marking the big guys. I actually scored quite a few during my career.
Yeah.
What did you look for, Pat, when you were picking up a cross for a header?
Actually, that's a really good question, right? So there's a load of centre forwards. The last thing they want you to do is look. They just say, put it in the area, it's up to us to be there. And there's a certain type of centre forward, if you've got, you can do that. Because if you put it in that area, Coach will be there. Maurice Johnson will be there. The kind of sniffers know how to be there. And I played with John Aldridge for a long time. You never bother to look. You just put it in that correct area. But there was others where you had to get up and look most of the time. So it kind of depended on the situation, but also on who you were playing with.
Interesting.
So you've got, that's the first goal.
Okay,
it's a short list of what, 10, 12 guys?
10 or so goals. We'll better power on through this, because otherwise we'll be here all day, won't we? But it's interesting that first goal we've already, you could spend 5-10 minutes talking about Derek Johnson's header. Graham Souness against the USSR, a World Cup goal, World Cup finals goal, 1982. Which I have fond memories of, although it wasn't quite enough to maintain Scotland's involvement at Espana '82. But it was a late equaliser. Oh yeah, I know.
That's seamless, isn't it? Yeah. We can't not mention '82 and not go through this, Alan. This is Alan's Panini sticker book. Alan, I'll let you do the honours. It's absolutely beautiful. I've turned to Honduras for some reason.
Brazil, that's a bit more, well, there they are, USSR, and Scotland
Did you get Graham Souness's picture?
I did not.
You've got Dalglish though, you're all right.
Got Dalglish, got John Robertson. There's only 16 names, and I noticed 16 players, so there was a few more, I think, on that squad.
The other thing is, they have to organise the Paninis before the World Cup.
Yeah.
And I think I was in one or two that I never made the squad. It drives you slightly nuts, and you're going, where's he?
Yeah, and poor old New Zealand just got the doubles, not one to them, not a sticker to themselves. It was like two.
That's when you know that you're
Z-listers at the World Cup. Z-list, I know. But yeah, Spaniard 82.
Goodness knows how big the club was going to be this year.
I know, 48 teams.
Oh, it's huge.
That's going to bankrupt a few families. Never mind going to the World Cup, just buying all the stickers.
It's a great trip down memory lane for that. So Souness
gave Scotland a flicker of a chance of qualifying. Scotland needed to win against USSR. Souness late goal. And this has been what I found really interesting researching. I mean, what great homework you set me a few weeks ago, Mark. Basically, go and watch all these Scotland goals and come up with your top 25. So it's been great going through them all each night at home when families in bed. I was going to fire up YouTube and go through all these goals. But what I was surprised at when I was looking again at Souness's goal, his first goal for Scotland, it was something like his 27th cap.
Yeah, but not always known as a goal scorer.
No, I know.
He had one really great season with Liverpool as well, where he scored really, really well. But there's so many of them. That good goals. That one, particularly against USSR, was a good one. But I'm going down the list of a number that are not going to make it here from this number. I mean, I'm going to say a few here, and a lot of people will remember them. Kevin Gallagher versus Austria. It was at Celtic Park, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I was covering that game, doing the commentary on it. I was right behind it when it was scored, and that certainly jumped in. Maybe we will put that back in the end. Maybe she'll see Kenny Miller against Cyprus, absolute cracker. I don't know if you remember, Darren Fletcher scored one against Slovenia, and it ball bobbled up, and he volleyed it. And it's exactly the same as the goal Billy McKinley scored against, I think it was Malta. When I was playing, I actually passed the ball and I went to him and he clicked it up and he pinged it into the back of the net in Malta. And I remember him running away, shouting, "The Badgers are after you, Malta, I warned you. They warned you, Badger." We're all celebrating, going, he's going, "Malta, I told you, be scared of the Badger." And I'm going,
brilliant.
What are you doing? And just scored for Scotland.
The ultimate Gallus football player, wasn't he?
Anyways, brilliant. Actually, to be honest, of all my time in Scotland, one of my highlights, and this is going to sound odd because it's happened in a bedroom, and it was before that game, and I was sharing a room with Billy McKinley. We didn't know each other beforehand, and the day before the game, you take 2 or 3 hours just sleeping in the bed and trying to start resting before a game, and the beds are right beside each other, and honestly, we were in pain by the end of the 2 or 3 hours because we just laughed and laughed and laughed. I don't actually know, apart from Monty Python's Life of Brian, it's probably the most I've ever laughed in my entire life. And I can't tell you anything we laughed about. It was that surreal, but it did involve making drawings of Craig Brown. That got really weird.
Brilliant. You mentioned Bill McKinley scoring against Malta. Talked about Souness against USSR. Does this greatest goal, does it matter the quality of the goalkeeper that it's been scored against? Because Dasayev was obviously the USSR goalkeeper, one of the great World Cup goalkeepers, wasn't he? And Souness just steered it in the far post.
I hadn't even thought of that. That's brilliant. I hadn't even considered. I remember scoring a goal against Ray Clements once, and it was a free kick, bent it around the wall, and thought, that was Ray Clements. But in actual fact, Ken Dalglish will tell you, you can just put it through his legs for a Scotland game. One of the other things actually that jumped to that maybe people don't notice, are a couple of goals I adored because they were set-ups, usually from a free kick, that we worked on in training. And because it was so well set up that when you watch it again, you just see somebody getting the ball and it ends up in the back of the net for a great shot. But I'm looking at it thinking, that was the whole defence dragged that way. There was one particular one, I asked you to watch John Collins one. The ball was played to him. And it's a drag back as the guy comes. So the guy comes running, but there's a drag, but he drags it around the wall and shoots from there. Now, in actual fact, we scored a goal. JC, that was against...
It was against
Latvia.
That was Latvia. It's here, yeah, we've got it here.
It's an absolute cracker. But the fact that we were on the training ground, we worked on it, and it worked absolutely perfect.
So
it's
a
cracker.
player may see a goal in a better light than the average fan because of all the work that's gone on behind the scenes.
For that one, 100. There's another one actually. There's another one kind of almost similar, which actually we're going to get to because it's going to be in the top 20. But that one was so good a move and so unusual and classic of Roxburgh and Brown.
Yeah.
Absolute classic. They were so meticulous in the detail and the build-up. You know, we would practice which throws we would do, throw-ins. Back then, nobody did that. You just threw it down the line or you kind of held it. They found this way of doing a crossover, and it was kind of Roxy's idea. You go across each other. By doing that, you kill the defenders and you block them. That's a throw-in. They were doing that. Roxburgh maybe particularly more than anyone else before anyone I'd ever seen doing it. And that's why Andy Roxburgh became top technical coach in UEFA for so long.
That's why he's still working, aged 82.
Yeah,
incredible. Yeah, you've mentioned John Collins there, Pat. So yeah, that Latvia free kick. I think right. Stuart McCall was standing over it, wasn't he? Stuart McCall, and then McAllister, Gary McAllister, sort of ran up to it, feigned as if he was going to take it, and John Collins rolled it.
Just rolled it behind himself.
Yeah.
So that the guy running towards him runs past him.
Ran past him.
It's onto Jesse's left foot.
On his left foot, yeah.
And that's great. But I haven't said that. Jesse scored a right foot cracker once. Absolute cracker with his right foot. Yeah. And that's another thing. If somebody scores an absolute worldie with their other foot, you got to take that into consideration.
It's funny talking about John Collins and all these goals that he's scored, yet the one that's going to be, and it's not, I suspect it won't be on this list, is the goal against Brazil. That's what everyone's going to remember him for, that penalty at France. Yet it probably is one of the most, what would seem straightforward goals, although I suspect one of the most high pressure goals. So that's another thing. It's the stage of where that goal is scored.
Yeah, we've got a few goals, a couple of goals here in friendlies, and you do wonder, well, it's a friendly, does it really matter? But yeah, it's interesting because the John Collins goal, few people ever take a penalty in such high pressure, or certainly with more eyeballs on them. Opening game of the World Cup.
Before we go into the top 5, right, two others I really want to mention, right, and another thing we need to take into account is who scored them. I'd like to see some of the iconic names in here as well, and funnily enough, it turns out most of them are our iconic, which is it's good fortune, but they're iconic names for a reason. Because they were pretty good.
They rose to the occasion.
Well, first of all, before we go on, got to mention Scott Brown against Poland. 20-yarder, absolute cracker goal. It's not going to get in, but it is an absolute beezer of a goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Iconic names. Davy Cooper, free kick against Australia.
Yeah. We're going to argue, so we're going to get down the 25 to 21 now.
Yeah.
Does Coops make it?
I think he does.
You think he does?
Again, it's the aesthetic quality of the goal. I mean, it was a great strike, as David Cooper. Every time he struck the ball, it was a sweet strike, wasn't it? But this was particularly sweet. Exocet missile, almost low into the back of those great old Hampden goals, into the bottom corner. Yeah. And just even the Hampden goals just made it look even better, I think. And so I don't know.
I would agree. Can we throw 25 in there?
25 to 21 is all yours, gentlemen. But what we must do is nail down it, because then we can get into the top 20.
Right, let's get through it then. Right, shall we go with Coops then? 25.
Yeah, 25.
Can we? One thing you need to know about Davy Cooper. I played with him. Fabulous player. This game was against Australia in 1985. And the only downside of it is, I watched it again. And I don't know if you know, they do the AI commentary. The commentary's done, but the AI picks it up. Yep. Apparently that goal was scored by Eddie Cooper. Yeah. So AI would drive you mad sometimes. It says AI at the bottom to Eddie Cooper scores. It's what?
That's why we go to trusted sources.
Good. So, Davy's in there.
Davy's in. Good. I'm glad to hear. One name, we haven't really mentioned yet, Pat, is Paul McStay. And you said to me, and you're right, we were discussing this a couple of days ago over a very nice lunch in Edinburgh, was we can't have a top 25 without Paul McStay, and I think you're right. You're right. And,
there's so many midfielders. A lot of midfielders scoring these goals, by the way. A lot of the reason is they're coming for deeper and hitting it further, and that's the reason. But to be honest, I'm putting him higher than 20 to 20, 25 to 21.
Yeah.
So I'm putting him higher than that.
Okay.
So we've got Cooper at 25. Who's going 24?
John McGinn.
Yeah, we
overhead
need to
kick, just not that overhead kick, or the other overhead kick, which we're including.
Yes, exactly. We might go in there. You never know. To me, there's so many Super John McGinn goals, but at the time when he scored that, it was against Austria. It was later on, I think, in the game. We needed that goal. And it was an unusual overhead kick. You know, we've seen bigger, sexier ones than that. In actual fact, the imagination you needed, because it doesn't come from across and you set yourself up. It comes from deep. And most players, maybe John McGinn more than anybody else on the planet, would hold it in and do all that sort of stuff, because that's what John McGinn does. But he didn't this time. Really weirdly, he goes for this overhead kick from this odd angle, and it's brilliantly put away. And it's
You're
a great
right.
goal.
It's not the most. I've written here. It's not. I mean, not the most elegant overhead kick you'll ever see. But it was Ryan Christie, I think, headed it back in.
But it's the intelligence. It's the intelligence of it.
That gets forgotten about John McGinn, because he's well known for being strong and tenacious in box to box, but he's an incredibly skillful player as well. With great vision, lovely left foot.
I remember I tell you a story about John McGinn. When he left Hibs, obviously I've been watching him at Hibs for a long time, and I got asked on the BBC, Aston Villa have bought this player, what can you tell? And I said, I'll tell you what, every single Aston Villa fan listening to me right now, you're just about to fall in love. Trust me. And that's the thing, skill, power, effort. He's what you want for a footballer.
Personality as well.
Yeah.
A joy to deal with. He's
so I'm happy we've got him in. Have we got him at 20?
Put him at
24.
24, shall we?
Yeah.
So 23 then.
23. Pat, we're sitting here and we've not another name here, another iconic name, with Pat Nevin.
Oh,
we've got a couple of Pat Nevin goals.
So Pat's
quickly
kindly brought these through today, which are the caps. This is your one for playing at the Euros in 1992. You were telling me off air, Pat, that these have sat in your loft for far too long.
But it's just the way it is. Football folk, well, certainly with me anyway, I've never looked at them, and I brought them in a bag, and the listener needs to know this, the watcher needs to know this. It's in a bag. It's a plastic Motherwell bag from when I worked there. That shows you how long since I looked at these things.
Did you not get a bit of emotional sentiment when you look back at them? Pride?
No, I've never done pride. It's nice to have had it. The nice thing was some of the caps, we got a lot more than them, that's some of them. But and you'll notice that that's 1990, 1981. They didn't give you a cap for every game then. You got a cap for the year. So you could get 7 caps in that year, but you only get one actual physical cap. It kind of went like that way. It's a joy to have that. The strip, some of these I've got all the way back.
I love this one. This is
the first one I wore.
Yeah.
See,
proper.
You're looking at that, it's a proper one, but this is the number in the back. It's nice to have a number in the back as well. A good number.
Before we had names in the back.
And I actually didn't know that I had any left, because I'd given most of them away to charities, etc. But that's kind of nice, and you're proud to have it. But it's this thing about when you play football, you have to think about the next game. You just done, scored, won, lost, move, go forward. So it's a kind of guilty pleasure when you look back. So it's kind of funny to bring them out again, but the best thing was giving them to people. I remember giving my dad my first cap, and that was magical, because he told all my siblings I'd play for my country. He said, my country one day. I think he meant Ireland. I'm Scottish. And I think I must have been 10 at the time. He never told me. And then I found out later that he kind of thought I always would. So he was right.
Yeah, well, thank goodness you chose Scotland, Pat. There was a couple of goals here, just quickly talk about them. A dink over the keeper against Estonia.
Right, I'm going to knock them out.
You're right.
You're going to throw them at me, I'm going to knock them out. If you score a goal, it's got to be one of the best, if not the best version of it. Right, a good dink against Estonia. Scored 2, made 1. We won 3-1 that day. And I was playing up front, which was my favourite position. I didn't get to often do it with Scotland. But it's a lovely dink with my left foot over the keeper. Mark Poom.
Former Arsenal keeper.
Yeah. However, Gordon Strachan scored a better version of it for Scotland, so that's not getting in.
Okay.
Your other
fair enough.
your
Another one I really liked was it was a friendly USA against the USA pre-Euro '92, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, and a give and go with Alan McCoist.
Yeah.
And then I think you tell me wrong. You tell me I'm wrong, but I think it was an outside of the boot.
Top corner,
finish,
20 yards.
top corner, but you say it was a bit of a toe poke, you call it.
I would dearly love to tell you it was the outside of my foot, but it wasn't. It was a toe poke.
Right,
it's a good goal.
And
however,
toe pokes, being a toe poke doesn't rule it out of being in the top 25.
But the fact that there is a slightly more iconic toe poke for Scotland does knock it out. Just one wee last line about that
does
game.
Does that mean that Pat Nevin's not going to be in our list?
No. Well, yeah.
Well, hey, that goal, just as importantly, is in a movie. And it's in a right good movie. So anyone, a lot of Scottish people remember the movie So I Married an Axe Murderer. And it's when what's his name again? Mike Myers.
Mike Myers.
And he's going, Scotland score a goal. And he goes, yes, Scotland, heed, get out of the way of the telly. There's a goal scored in the background. That goal. So that's my claim of fame in Hollywood.
In Hollywood. And there's another goal in this list that's also featured in a film, of course, famously. We'll get on to that.
Right, so where are we?
23.
23. The aforementioned, did we put Derry Johnson in yet? I think we need Derry Johnson's header. I think Big DJ's header there.
I think you're right. Derek Johnson at 23, 22.
I mean, I urge you to try and watch that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's a weird one.
Yeah.
And DJ was a great scorer. I ended up playing with him. He came down to play for Chelsea for a while. Maybe at the end of his career. He didn't get many games, but he'd scored some phenomenal goals. And he had a record at Rangers, which was fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad to include that. 22. What do you think,
Can I push? We've got John McGinn in.
Yeah.
We can't do this without Andy Robertson.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think you can. Now, I'm not shoving him in and it's a rubbish goal.
Yeah.
He had some decent strikes, but the one that always jumped out at me was Cyprus.
Yeah.
What year? I've got the year here.
2019, Steve Clarke's first game, so it's a significant game as well.
Yeah.
The opening first goal of Steve Clarke's, right?
I think it was actually, yeah.
First goal.
And just a few days after, I think Andy Robertson had won the Champions League with Liverpool. It had been quite a week. Yeah, quite a week.
His career has been among the most extraordinary careers in modern Scottish history.
He's now the second most capped Scotland player on course to probably take over from Kenny Dalglish. He's a Scotland legend.
He is, absolutely. And do you know when you've got a legend in your country, you want him to reflect who we are? And he does.
Yeah.
He's a team man. He will turn up every single time. He won't be saying, I've got a wee bit of a hamstring this week. He'll be there. He'll run through everything for us.
He sets the tone in that Scotland camp. If you think how many players turn up every single time, Rob will have a big part to play in that. He'll be rallying the troops, saying, right, international week coming up, let's all go. We want to make something special, and they have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we underline the fact that it's a cracker of a goal?
I was going to say, just explaining quickly what happened. Yeah, I mean, he took a pass from McGinn out on the left there and just leathered it.
I think it's a leather bit precise.
Yeah.
I think it's guided.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just shut your eyes and smash it. I think it's pretty guided from decent.
Robertson's very clever with his left foot. Everything is precise. He knows he's a great striker of the football.
Well, he's coming to the end of his Liverpool career, but he's still scoring and precise, lovely finish last weekend.
I'm stunned that he's not been kept on. But he'll have a great Indian summer somewhere else.
Yes, I think absolutely right. So that's good. It's good that the skipper gets in.
22.
By the way, it's already looking like some team.
So we've got one more before we get onto the top 20. 21. What are we?
Can I bully you here?
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have to walk out of this room if Paul McStay's not in this.
Mm-hmm.
And he scored a lot of good goals. And the ones that I looked through, the one against Iceland. It's astonishing. You remember that one?
I do. 1984, a World Cup qualifier, 3-0, and he'd scored a header in that same game, which possibly you would not associate Paul McStay with doing, and the goal you can describe it.
Well, any Celtic fan would know this goal because he strikes it, and I'm not exaggerating. It is 35 yards. You sometimes say that, and you look at it again, it's 20, 25. No. He picks it up just about inside the opposition half, runs, and the ball's the technical ability to do it, because he was an amazing striker of the ball. The ball's not one side or the other. It's almost in front of him. So developing power from there is incredible. But he pings it, and it's those old goals again, isn't
exactly,
it?
yeah.
The old handling goals. It is an absolute screamer, absolute cracker.
Does distance make a goal better? Just because it's how hard it is to score from distance.
Well, if distance made it good, I think we know it would be number one right now. Yeah, it does. And I feel slightly guilt-ridden because I don't think I could have ever kicked it that far. Never mind rifle it into the top corner. But yeah, distance does.
Is this the time to explain that we have recreated these?
Yeah, why not? We were going to talk about it more in the top 5, but we did try and recreate some of these goals. There'll be footage spliced into this conversation. I was in goal, so I'll probably look quite good in all this compared to people like yourself, Alan, having a bash from
But it just underlined how hard it is to kick a ball from the halfway line, for example, or to kick a ball from distance, and
or from an angle,
and to have and to maintain accuracy as well. I mean, it's just half the battle was even just kicking it as far as you wanted it to go.
Or to score past a world-class goalkeeper.
Of course, yes, of course.
The thing that always ex-pros or pros always feel the same way. When you play, you're a pro, and you play with people who are not pros, and they get the ball, you pass it. I used to say to, who was it? I said it to, actually, I see John Collins once. We were playing a game at Hampden Park, and it was just John and I said, John, I'm just going to warn you, mate. See, when you give the ball to somebody, it ain't coming back to you. Whereas we know, if you pass it there and you make the move, you get it, it's coming, right? And said, no, he's going to get the ball and he's going to try the 70-yarder that he sees in the telly. And it's only going to go 35 yards. And it's the most common thing that pros know the difference between and players that aren't at a professional level. So I'll be honest with you, I was there overseeing what you were doing, and I have to admit to being quite impressed. Certainly by effort, but there were one or two good technical moments in there as well.
We'll talk about those later. So John Collins in 21.
No, Paul McStay.
Paul McStay. Yeah, so that's 25, David Cooper against Australia. World Cup playoff. 24, John McGinn against Austria, overhead kick. 23, Derek Johnson v Wales, bullet header. 22, Andy Robertson, trademark left foot, precise effort in Steve Clarke's first match in charge. And then 21, Paul McStay, World Cup qualifier v Iceland. Not a bad way to start kick off, I think.
You've nailed it. Okay, take a short break and then we'll look at the top things.
Good practice. Actually, it was a terrible practice. We've got to keep the spirits up. This is the most important thing. Oh, crossbar! Have you been practicing, old boy?